My vision of a sustainable future is one in which our world leaders, our politicians, our government actually care about and prioritise our environmental crisis, our climate crisis that we're experiencing at the moment. That means what we would consider extreme and radical change. Things like completely shifting away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy in our public transport, in our cars, in our homes even. It also means shifting across to a green economy in the UK, which means that we're stimulating our economy by creating jobs related to the environment, and it has the amazing side effect of being extremely positive for our climate and for our environment here in the UK.
Hi everyone, my name is Banseka and I am the founder and director of Naked Politics, which is an organisation that engages young people in politics and amplifies their views and experiences. So I definitely think when you think of climate change, a lot of people think of young people as well. There's definitely no doubt in my mind that young people are at the forefront of this movement. And we haven't got a lot of time left. So it's people like Greta Thunberg, for example. You know, she's only 18 and she's been campaigning for several years now on a global level to pressure policymakers to take climate change seriously. Young people have been talking about the climate for decades, and in recent years it's young people who we've seen, going on school strikes, sacrificing their own education, often in conjunction with thousands of other young people across the world, to try and raise awareness of climate change and bring about, change to make our world better. So for me, it's definitely clear that young people are leading the way in this. So in practical terms, what can young people do to keep up the fight against climate change? I think there's lots of things young people can keep doing. First of all, I'd say if you can afford to, please donate to organisations who are already doing a lot of this work in combating climate change. If you can't afford to donate, then please consider perhaps giving up a bit of your time volunteering as an alternative instead. I definitely say it's also really important that you show your support for politicians and change makers, who want to implement transformative policies.
Hi, I'm Charlotte and I'm 17. I'm a young trustee for YPTE. One thing young people can do to make a difference is making change within their schools, and that could be trying to reduce their school's food waste, trying to reduce their school's paper waste, or even demanding a more renewable energy provider through means like a petition. Considering that there are over 24,000 primary and secondary schools in the UK, that would create a huge large-scale difference if even a few committed to sustainable actions like those.
Hello all, my name is Jude Daniel Smith, I'm 16 and I volunteer with a campaign called Teach the Future, which aims to repurpose the education system around the climate emergency and ecological crisis so that all young people in the world are enabled to face the biggest issue this world has ever seen. So, what is the future that I want to see? I want to see a future where sustainability is not this niche concept that is discussed by very few people and some people might not even know about it. I want to see a world where sustainability is a societal norm. It's actually taboo and against society to go against sustainability and act unsustainably, which is how it should be. I believe that would enable so much more sustainable development, because if it's seen as this thing that everyone does, people are going to be educated about it more in school, it's going to be more profitable because there's going to be more green jobs, and we're going to get more done because there's more of an incentive and less worry about what we're doing to our world.
Hey, I'm Daisy Gargi and I'm a climate justice activist. There are so many different ways to create change, and this change can be scalable, starting from your schools to your local communities and then aiming to create national change. First, we can start with your schools. One of the most effective ways to create change in your schools is by getting your school to go carbon neutral by 2030 latest. By going carbon neutral, we can reduce our impact on the natural world. Partnering with really amazing organisations like Let's Go Zero, we can help your school achieve this. Secondly, we can work with communities to create solutions. This can be done in the form of a community garden, for example. Community gardens bring people back to understanding the land, but also brings people together. This is useful as the next generation, we can understand how nature works and how to protect it. Finally, we can act on a national level. This is the best bit about being young, is by having imagination. We can let politicians know what we want for our futures and what they should look like. This can be done by letting politicians know we would want clean air, clean transport, and a city full of trees and wildlife. By letting them know we create standards which we can hold them accountable for, and they must listen to us. There are so many different ways, and by no means are these the only ways to fight the climate crisis. But the most radical step of all is learning how to care for one another. Be kind to one another, and then treat one another in the same way we treat the earth, with love and care.